There's some time to sort out some technical arrangements. That's because we're expecting some kind of clip, I think, to be played as Witness C continues his testimony before this particular inquiry. As expected, he has gone into a bit more detail about the circumstances surrounding Vusumuzi Cat Matlala's arrest. Of course, this is the alleged crime kingpin who's said to have facilitated certain arrangements, we're told, with the political elite, Senzo Mchunu in particular. What we've heard so far as details, by the way, which have been made public so far, already, this idea that Witness C, I beg your pardon, this idea that Cat Matlala was essentially pulling the strings for Senzo Mchunu because of his presidential ambitions within the ANC. Minister Mchunu, by the way. And this is already detail that's been made public, if memory serves, by Begigele when he was in Parliament. I stand to be corrected, but I do know that the information itself has been mentioned before. Witness C also testifying about the moment when Cat Matlala was arrested. In fact, he mentioned that he had been at Riah Phiyega's home. You might remember that's the former National Police Commissioner. Let's listen in.
We surveilled him and we were standing from a bit of a distance when he proceeded to a certain estate in Midrand, with which I have just indicated that he said he was there at the former Commissioner Ms. Riah Phiyega's premises. Then when he left that premises, his motorcade was driving at a very high speed. And as they were driving at a very high speed, we couldn't catch him as it was driving at a high speed. And fortunately, unfortunate for him, he hit a pothole along the new road. So then his Mercedes-Benz came to a standstill on the side of the road. Commissioners, as a person who had always told us that he is connected, I would assume, Commissioners, that he was aware that we were after him. So maybe he had made us Commissioner as we did a reconnaissance on him. His security detail, mostly they are ex-military officers from the elite section of the military. So they will also deploy their own skills also to check the surroundings and stuff. Maybe they might have made us.
So Witness C, they're explaining that it was almost fortuitous that Cat Matlala had that puncture, the tire puncture. That, he suggested before this inquiry, is what enabled them to close in on him and effect that arrest. I did mention to you a little earlier on that there was that claim once again that was repeated, that Vusumuzi Cat Matlala is the one who seemed to apparently aid Senzo Mchunu in his ANC presidential bid. Let's take you back to that moment.
Through his talk, he indicated that he was introduced to Minister Mchunu and that Mr. Mchunu had ambitions to run for presidency in the ANC. And then there were people and ministers also that were going around looking for the people who will contribute to his campaign. And indeed, Mr. Matlala was one of the people who had contributed to the campaign, as he indicated that in January he had contributed to an amount, to the total amount of 500,000, whereby he purchased flight tickets and paid for the accommodation for the members of the ANC who were going to Cape Town for the July 8 statement for the ANC. So, and also that you will also refer back to his phones where he will show us the messages between him and the person named Brown Mokhotsi pertaining those flight tickets and the accommodation payments.
All right, let's take you straight to the Bridget Mabandla Justice College. That's our senior reporter, Kenny Maphanga, standing by for what we've heard so far. And Kenny, these allegations against Senzo Mchunu just keep piling.
Indeed. Well, you may remember, and good morning to you and to the viewers, that we've already been teased about this portion of the evidence through the WhatsApp chats that were originally presented before the commission by the head of intelligence, that is Lieutenant General Dumsani Khumalo. But now we're starting to see a glimpse into the May 2025 arrest of the alleged cartel member Vusumuzi Cat Matlala from the vantage point of witness C, and the information that was revealed following that particular arrest. We're now getting a sense of what this alleged dynamic between Vusumuzi Cat Matlala, Brown Mokhotsi, as well as the police minister who's now on a leave of absence, Senzo Mchunu, was. And essentially what we're getting from witness C is quite a number of allegations that do not paint the police minister and Brown Mokhotsi in the best light, in reference to some of the comments that they've made so far to distance themselves from Vusumuzi Cat Matlala. But the evidence about that witness C has presented so far paints a different picture. So now we're seeing that Vusumuzi Cat Matlala is allegedly being painted as that individual who would be a key funder towards Senzo Mchunu's alleged ANC presidential ambitions. And we're hearing through the evidence of witness C that up to 500,000 was paid towards those activities, allegedly, of the January 8th celebrations in furtherance or support of this alleged presidential campaign. Remember that all of this is taking place after the decision to disband the PKTT. So it is no surprise when witness C alleges or testifies before the commission that when they pounced on Vusumuzi Cat Matlala, that Matlala was very disappointed that these actions were taking place in light of the fact that he alleges he had already supported these individuals and given them so much, but he wasn't getting anything in return. And here they are in May 2025 pouncing on him for the attempted murder of Tebogo Tobejane, that is the former partner of Vusumuzi Cat Matlala. So what has happened now is witness C is another, I guess, witness before the commission that is allegedly establishing those alleged ties between Vusumuzi Cat Matlala, Brown Mokhotsi, and Police Minister Senzo Mchunu. And through his evidence, he's alleging that Brown Mokhotsi is essentially the middleman who he would make payments to in order to relay those payments back to the Police Minister Senzo Mchunu to fund that alleged campaign.
Absolutely. And we then hear from witness C that apparently Matlala was given some kind of advice to open a false case against police as some form of retaliation because of that arrest.
Indeed. So now we're knowing that according to witness C, Vusumuzi Cat Matlala did not enjoy the protections that he thought he was going to receive by allegedly making these payments and sponsoring the alleged ANC presidential ambitions of the police minister, Senzo Mchunu. So then he goes to other options, if we can put it that way, Ayanda. And one of those is that it is alleged that when he opened that case stating that where there was a search at his home, that certain luxury items were taken or stolen by the PKTT. We're hearing through witness C that Matlala stated that it was allegedly a means to implicate Lieutenant General Khumalo in some form of wrongdoing that would also land him up in court. However, we now have to return to the commission, so I do have to stop our analysis at this point, Ayanda, and we expect that the recordings between Vusumuzi Cat Matlala and Brown Mokhotsi will be played shortly. Over to you in studio.
All right, Kenny Maphanga, thanks very much indeed. And as you can see, commissioners are back in their seats once again. We're taking this short adjournment to allow for the technical setup to be completed. So